It doesn't matter what I pray for or pray about. When I lay down at nighttime, I thank the Lord for getting me through one day.
Rocky is a gregarious person. He's one of few people who can walk onto a prison yard and light up the room. He's very sweet and caring and faithful.
He was loving, he was protective, he was my father. He was a good man. I'm still his son.
I still speak to him. I still love him unconditionally. He has a part of my heart and he knows that. Can't nobody take that away.
Rocky Myers has been on death row in Alabama for almost 30 years for a crime that I believe he did not commit. Simply, it was unfair from beginning to end. So many failures within the system, visited in a single case.
They never placed him at the scene. They never placed him at the scene.
They have no evidence, just a bogus case. You know, I feel like they just had somebody they wanted to blame.
What I feel about my grandfather's case, like the justice-wise, I feel like it was unfair. I feel like it was unjust. It was mostly racially motivated.
He is a black man in a small white town in Alabama, and he walked into that courtroom with an attorney who represented the Ku Klux Klan, and he had 11 white jurors and only one black juror.
There was the gentleman that said that if the DA had enough against a person to bring them to grand jury, then he automatically felt that they were guilty. And he held his ground. There were other jurors that started out guilty. They just held their ground. They never budged.
The evidence against him was flimsy at best and included, we know now, lies.
I feel like he's suffering for something he didn't do.
The state never proved it. It was their responsibility to prove that he was there and that he committed the murder. They never proved that. I don't even know why they bothered to put him on trial, because they had him guilty before it ever started. They wanted him on death row, and that's where he is.
It breaks my heart a little bit every day to think about him being on death row. And it terrifies me to think of what the culmination of his case could look like one day.
He does have 4 kids out here that grew up without him, that then had kids on their own. And I'm a grandma now. We've lost our dad at an early age. When he was supposed to be with us, he was taken from us.
And being on death row just scares him every day, because he has to worry about if today will be the last day that he'll be able to talk to his son again.
He can be a backbone when you need him. He's an ear when you need to talk to someone. Even though he's not here, he still gives advice.
But you can't touch him, you can't hug him, you can't, feed him, you can't just be there for him. And it's a lot of nights he done fell asleep hurting, and it's just wrong. I think he's wrongly incarcerated, and it'll mean the world to me. Come home, Pops. I love you.
The last time I saw him, he was smiles, all smiles. He was happy to see us. He was happy to see my son. But in all honesty, I think he was just holding back. I think he really is still suffering because he's still locked up.
To completely abandon a man who reads at a 3rd grade level by just dropping him. He failed a client whose very life depended on him.
Rocky's case as a whole highlights all the problems with the death penalty, and the death penalty specifically here in Alabama. I'm particularly bothered by the fact that he was abandoned during his appeal process and therefore has no legal recourse for the issues in his case. Currently in his situation, the best case scenario is clemency and spending his life in prison.
At least he'll still be here. At least he'll be able to talk to us. At least we'll be able to go visit. You know, we'll be able to see him. It sure heck beats death row.
We just want to be able to, talk to him without worrying if the next day is going to be the last.
On death row, you just waiting on them to kill you, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're a cattle. I really don't want them to kill my pops, you know what I'm saying? Clemency mean everything to me and him, just so he can, one day hopefully come home.
Regardless of what this state has done and what they do, that they never broke his spirit, they never broke his faith. That is what I want everyone to know about Rocky.
I'm hoping that my dad gets justice. I'm hoping that he comes home and he gets to meet and hold his family.
Clemency and saving his life, for now, would be enough, because it would give him the remainder of his time and continue to have hope for maybe something else.
Justice for Rocky.